Does it on purpose.
I know.
So you replaced your top two guys in snaps. Like, how are you feeling about where you're at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. You know, we had a lot of confidence in Kamari. Obviously, AJ coming out of high school with a lot of expectations. So what we've seen now going into year 4 is in our tight end room, with as much as we put on our tight ends, there's a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. So we're excited about where Kamari and AJ are at. And then obviously, adding Anthony Miller into the room. He played almost 400 snaps on a CFP team last year. So he brings some experience to the table. And then, Christian coming in, Ingman coming in from Portland State, all conference guy, played a lot of snaps, providing some quality depth. And we're excited about our young buck, Landon, who's jumping in, 17 years old and getting a lot of reps and getting better every day. So
He's still 17?
I think so. If he's not, he plays like it sometimes.
Yeah. Is there a specific tight end that you show your tight ends to kind of like model your game, or like this is like who you should be following?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, we got on last spring. We got on a FaceTime with Charlie Werner. Charlie's a tight end for the Falcons. And one of the big things that we emphasize in our room is really taking pride in how we impact the game without the ball. And Charlie's a guy that's going into like year 7 in the league, makes a ton of money, and I think he's got probably less than 24 career catches. But he makes an impact in the run game, in protections. He does everything right. He gives them flexibility, personnel-wise, because of what he does. So that's what we really hang our hat on. Touches are great. I think we've gone, the tight end position since we've been here has gone over 350 yards receiving. And Shimon obviously was a red zone target and was productive from a touchdown standpoint. But that's not really what we make our identity. We make our identity, knocking guys off the ball, being physical at the point of attack, blocking on the perimeter, being stout in protection, and really creating an extra gap, for our run game.
Speaking of Shimon,
who's the best blocker on this group? I'll tell you what. Shout out. He wasn't here today. He had a little injury. He should be back beginning next week. But James Giggy gets after people, and he's gotten better and better and better. He's physical. He's got some twitch and some pop at the point of attack. He does a really, really good job. Kamari strains and is physical. Obviously, Anthony Miller is a man child, so he comes off the ball. He's massive and he's long. He's 83-inch wingspan, so he covers guys up and knocks guys off. So that's a big thing for us. I mean, you really, if you can't win the C gap and knock guys off the line of scrimmage, it's hard to put you on the field in this offense.
Speaking of Shimon, what would your pitch be to NFL teams that are potentially interested in bringing him on to their roster?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's different. I think pass catchers, big athletes that can flex out and catch passes are easier to find. Guys that really, truly take pride in blocking the C gap and you can put one-on-one on a team strong side defensive end and win the gap. He does that at a high level. Obviously, he's been productive in the pass game as well, but I think a kid who understands who he is, that knows if I make a roster, it's not going to be a feature pass catcher that you have to, get X amount of targets for. He's going to be a guy that's going to be stout in the run game. He's going to be great in protections. He's going to work his tail off, and he's got a really high football IQ, and he carries at a high level.
Is it hard to get guys to buy into that because everybody wants the ball in their hands? Is it kind of hard to
No, because, like the tight ends, they come from one of two areas. They're either a pass catcher that got too big and wasn't getting open and wasn't getting balls, or they, were offensive linemen that didn't quite get big enough, and so they've kind of been unselfish guys all along. So, I think that's it, and I think that's what we look for when I recruit guys. We're not selling a dream of, you're going to come in and be this feature receiver and have 1,000 yards. Like, we're not selling that. We spend a lot of time selling what we do and what we take pride in. And kids gravitate towards that believe in that, and they shy away from it if they don't. So I feel like we're trying to attract the right kind of personalities and the right kind of makeup in our room.
Jason, you mentioned off the top heading into year 4 now here at ASU, earning the Distinguished Arizona honor. Father Gago got it a little bit ago. What does that honor mean to you?
Yeah, it's awesome to be the youngest recipient ever of that award. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm telling myself that because when you get Lifetime Achievement Awards, it means you're kind of getting up there in age. This is my 25th year coaching football, which is insane. I've been coaching more than half my life. It's an incredible honor. And, I grew up coaching at Saguaro High School, going to the National Football Foundation banquets, with our scholar athletes for our state championship teams. Was blessed to get the Earl Putnam Coach of the Year award at one point. To have an award that's named after Frank Cush, and what that means to my family, with my dad, having been an assistant for Coach Cush, it really is something that means a lot to me. It's a special honor, and I don't take it lightly.
Speaking about coaching for so long, what is your kind of reaction or analysis to how much the tight end position has grown over the years?
I love it. It's funny because I was a play caller and quarterback coach at Saguaro during my time. 15 years calling the offense, and but I always told people I wasn't coaching quarterbacks. I would love to coach the tight ends because. And you can ask anybody in our offense. Our tight ends have to know just about as much as the quarterbacks, and we put a lot on their plate. We try to schematically and structurally try to make it easier for the receivers, and because of that, it puts a lot on the tight ends as far as just understanding how to get lined up and what to do. And because of that, from a schematic standpoint, from a play caller mentality, it's a really fun position to coach. So yeah, looking across, the game of football at the NFL level, major college football, even down to the high school level, tight ends are game changers. And when you have an elite tight end that can create an extra gap in the run game and can also stretch the field vertically, it really opens things up and makes it hard to defend. And you can stay in 11 or 12 personnel and really put pressure on the defense on how they're going to match you personnel-wise.
Where are the guys at with that, with their fluency of understanding the scheme?
They're doing a really good job. I've got a really high football IQ room. They're picking it up quickly. Some guys are pressing because they want to do great, and that's a good thing. So it's just reminding the Christians of the world and the ants of the world that, hey, you know this, know what you know, trust it, and play fast and play confident. But again, because we put so much on your plate, that's where I've seen in my time here that such a big jump from year 1 to year 2 for guys of just getting comfortable in the system, getting comfortable in the scheme. Because when you get to the point where you're not thinking, when your processor's running fast, then you're just playing ball, and then all your natural gifts, come to light.
What did you like out of Landon Myrie when you recruited him, and what have you seen out of him in spring?
Man, I tell you what, we saw a lot of similarities to Shamon's game as far as a kid that's, he's not 6'5", but he's got a 79.5-inch wingspan, so he's long. He's 250 pounds now, so he's put on good size. He's got real natural, the ability to sink his hips and generate power from the ground. He's twitchy and explosive from the ground. He's got really good contact balance. And then where I think he has the ability to become an elite guy is his ball skills and his body control. He really is a natural route runner and pass catcher. He's not gonna take the top off and run away from guys, but he's a savvy route runner. He can create separation at the top of his route with his body and with his legs. So he's got a long way to go. But there's things that we've seen even since he's been here, especially since he's been here, that make us really excited about his future. If he keeps working it, him and Fetty and Carday, those guys have been in the team room late at night together going over film. We got a text Saturday night at midnight from Landon asking why he got an MA on a route because he thought he did it right. Like, that's a kid on Saturday night in Tempe as a freshman, first semester away from home, and he's not out trying to find something to do. He's trying to find a way to get better.
I heard Landon took his visit on a 4-hour layover. What was that like?
Yeah, I was over across the street at Mountainside Fitness getting my workout in because I'm kind of getting old, so I do the machines. I don't do like the Joe Connolly workouts. And I got a text from somebody I knew kind of through the high school world, and he's like, "Hey, somebody that I'm connected to is in town. This tight end on a layover. He's going to visit Oregon. He wants to come by the facility." And I was like, "Shoot!" I wrapped up my workout. I didn't really want to work out anyway, and so I wrapped it up and I went back over there, met him and his mom, toured him around, kind of just impromptu meeting, and hit it off and clicked. And this is such a relationship business. Sometimes things like that happen for a reason, and that's where we have success with is people that get around our place and get around our people and feel our culture. For some people, that's like, it's different and it sticks. And those are the people we want here. We want people that come here and get in our building around people that that's where I want to be. And he was one of those guys. He had offers from everywhere in the country, but that first impression, just being around us in a natural setting, we didn't have a chance to roll out the red carpet and try to put a fake, unofficial form. It was just, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and we connected, and we're very happy to have him here.
That was Landon?
That was Landon.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach, I know you can't talk specifically about new recruits, but just with Landon and kind of that momentum in that room, how would you describe the recruiting for the room?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think, obviously it's our spots have filled up before May, I think, each of the last 3 years. And because it's like kind of like the quarterback position. Maybe you'll take 2, most of the time you're taking 1. And we've had a lot of success because when you get early commitments from guys, it allows you to now focus on the next class. And because once we got a commitment, we tell our kids it's like being married. So we're committed to you, you're committed to us. You get married, you don't keep dating, right? And so now I can shift my focus to the next class and start building relationships with other guys. And so it's been a good deal, but because we've had guys committed early, it's kind of created that urgency. When somebody comes here and feels that special culture that we have, they don't want to let it wait. They don't want somebody else to take it before they do. And I think that's what, in my room and in a lot of our other rooms, we've seen that with guys that are like, that's where I want to be. I'm not going to drag my feet. Because in the recruiting, I used to say this all the time as a head high school coach, the recruiting process only needs to be as long as it takes you to find the place that you would be heartbroken if that opportunity wasn't there anymore. And so I think we found guys that know they want to be here. They don't need to drag it out. If this is where you want to be, don't drag it out, because you don't want somebody else to feel the same way and take it before you.